Maybe you have seen some things about this, heard about it. Maybe you're in it right now. Maybe you're going through it, the winter arc. What is it? Is what I want to talk about today. It's I think mostly in the sort of fitness, self-improvement space, mostly in the fitness space, but it's essentially this period of time. And what I've seen for the most part is supposedly there is like a lot of TikTok people says officially October 1st through the end of December. So about 90 days, this 3-month period of locking in on self-improvement, on embracing the hardship of winter and making it a time of absolute growth, that you come out on the other side totally changed person. The winter arc, ARC, as in like a story arc, like a character arc, like a part of someone's story or of like the rise or the fall of a character, and this being like the journey of self-improvement. Like this is part of my story arc in which I transform, I think is the idea of the winter arc. Just entering into the depths, the darkness, the hardship of winter, and just bearing down, locking in, and transforming and growing into something else. I am all in favor of the winter arc. I'm a big fan of taking seasonal periods of intense, intentional growth. And like, what does the winter arc consist of? For the most part, what you would see online is, again, it's mostly in the fitness space. So it's a lot of focus in on like intentional fitness growth. And for the most part, it's like gaining muscle and size or bulking, eating extra calories, sort of like eating extra food, like a bear preparing for winter hibernation. So like you would bulk up, you would train like 4, 5, 6 times a week, 7 days a week, like intense, intentional, goal-oriented training. That mixed with like a reducing of some other bad habits, something like extra social media use or things having to do with lust, or in addition to that, just kind of an extracting oneself from social situations, for better or for worse, but some sort of like isolation, a drawing in to oneself to lock in on goals. And maybe there are other goals attached to that beyond the fitness things, like certain projects you want to accomplish in those 90 days. But just like really focused in on fitness transformation and maybe a certain like ascetic stoicism that goes with it. But it's this period of time where I am really focused on self-improvement, and like everything else that's extraneous to that goes to the side, and I'm locked in on my goals for 90 days. Like I said, am super in favor of things of that sort. That's part of the idea of like New Year's resolutions. And I think part of this whole winter arc thing is you start on October 1st. So you have these 90 days where you're super ahead of the game. Like the people who are doing the New Year's resolutions, I've already been in this winter arc for 90 days. But I'm really in favor of doing something like that, whether it's a New Year's resolution, whether it's like you have quarterly goals, like for the first 90 days of the year, quarter 1, quarter 2, 3, 4. That's usually what I do. Like the beginning of January, beginning of April, beginning of August, July, beginning of July, and beginning of October being like the 4 periods of time where I'll check in on goals that I've set. And then part of the idea of like the season of Lent, where it's 40 days, where you do some kind of fasting and prayer and almsgiving, and you really focus in on something. This is how habits are built. Is we focus in on something and we set it like time bound for a period of time, and say, this is what I'm going to do every day for this period of time. And this is how we build discipline. This is how we build habits over time. The one thing that I do want to add, while I am in favor of the winter arc, and maybe I would even encourage something of a winter arc, a period, time-bound, self-improvement towards a goal-oriented, is that make sure you add something spiritual to the winter arc. Make sure you invite Jesus into the winter arc. Like if I were to come up with rules for the winter arc or something, then yeah, sure, some kind of fitness oriented goal. Go to the gym or find some kind of exercise that you do every day consistently, or almost every day, maybe 6 days a week, take Sundays off, and have like intentional diet, nutrition that goes along with that. And maybe there's some kind of like, you set aside social media. This would be a great one. For 90 days, you like put social media to the side, any other media. If there's any other negative habits that you have going on, like drinking or smoking or anything like that, put that to the side. But what I would add also is a habit of prayer over those 90 days. Like I would say half an hour to an hour of like meditative silent prayer every single day. Maybe you also say, I'm going to go to Catholic Mass every single day. I'm going to offer the sacrifice of Mass, of Jesus, with Jesus at Calvary every day. What would that do to transform your life? How would that be the transformative arc in the storyline of your character? I promise you, for 90 days, you prayed for half an hour to an hour every day, read the Bible, or just spend time sitting in Eucharistic adoration with our Lord. Everything would change. So if you combine some of those things, if you do not only I'm going to transform my body by like training every day and nutrition really intentionally and getting like enough sleep. Like if you commit to like proper sleep, I'm going to transform my body in that way. I'm going to transform my mind by like going away from social media, like cutting out negative relationships, by like maybe reading more often. I think that's part of a lot of the like winter arc. Like changing what your mental nutrition looks like. I'm going to transform my body. I'm going to transform my mind. I'm going to transform my soul, my spirit, by praying every day, by encountering the living God every single day for half an hour to an hour every single day or more. Like having some kind of spiritual practice involving Jesus in the winter arc will make this way more than it ever could be the transformative period of your life. So that's just the invitation here. I'm all in favor. If you haven't started, then it's like middle of fall. So any time is a good time to start the winter arc. But to set some kind of like time bound thing, some period of time, 90 days, whatever that is for you, like to enter and I say, this winter, I'm locked in. I'm dialed. I'm going to transform my life and become a different person when springtime comes. When I come out of my hibernation for my winter arc, I'm different. I'm changed. Because I've transformed my body. I've transformed my mind. I've transformed my heart, my soul. I've encountered the living God. Now I am transformed to go out and change the world because I've changed myself first. So, invitation to maybe start the winter arc. The winter arc starts now.